and welcome to episode 3 of What's It Really Worth. Tonight we're going to be reviewing Hotshots by Fireside Games.
So, Hotshots is a game for 1 to 4 players. It is a game you can play solo. I'm not going to go through all the components like we did for Conan in the last episode. Suffice to say, you get 19 tiles that represent your national park. You got the dice, cards, flame tokens, some character standees to move about the board. And yeah, that's about it. Retails for $35. So what do we got?
Setup time on this is what, Rich?
Setup time, after the first time you set it up, it's probably about 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty
It really is fairly quick. Tile placement is random, so you just put them out wherever. It's just a set pattern you have to put them in, which is not some complex pattern. It's just spiraled out.
And actually, one of the neat things that I found neat about the game before we get into the reviews, with the tile placement on that topic, they actually give you a couple layouts of some of the famous national parks. They kind of say, this represents Yosemite and this layout, this represents Yellowstone.
Yeah.
So that was kind of just a neat
Yeah, it kind of plays into the theme.
Yeah,
so.
definitely. What's playtime with this?
Playtime can vary. We saw that when we played, when we ran through the game. So, this is a press your luck game. You're going to be rolling dice to try and fight fires. Now, like most press your luck games, you can keep rolling dice. As soon as you don't get a success, it's out. Everything you've rolled before, out the door.
Yeah, clean the slate.
Right.
Yep.
Now, because this is a fire and it's unpredictable, you have your fire cards here. These fire cards can cause fire to start sprouting up everywhere. You could have everything contained to one small corner of the board, and all of a sudden you've got a fire on the other side of the board. You've got to quick rush people across.
Yeah.
So, depending on how your card draw goes, the game can run anywhere from 30 to maybe a little over an hour.
Yeah, first time play maybe a little longer than that, just to get the feel of like all the routines and
Correct.
the different skills that the characters have.
Right.
Yeah. So let's go with MSRP. You said 35, right?
Yes.
And our reviewers gave that a 3. They thought that for the value of what you get for the $35, it was right there. So.
Yeah, I'd probably put the value a little bit higher. The components, nothing really special about them, but for $35, I think you get a decent quantity with the game.
Yep. Okay, next was setup.
Setup time, very quick.
Yeah.
Setup 4.0 from the reviewers. It's real quick. There's not a lot of stuff to really worry about. It's once your board is set up, you put your characters all in one spot, you're set. You're good to go.
Yep. And then a learning curve, they gave it a 3. What do you think about a 3?
There are some rules to it. I think a 3 is okay. Yeah, probably 3 is okay.
Okay.
There are some things, having to learn what each of the symbols means on the cards, that kind of stuff. It takes a little bit to get that. Once you know it, the game will go much faster.
Yep, I agree. And then replayability, they gave it a 4, which I think is dead on. You have a lot of replay. If you enjoy press your luck cooperative games, sort of in the theme of like a zombie dice or Pandemic, and Pandemic not being a press your luck, but more of an environment and how it morphs and changes on you as you're playing, with one thing breaking out over here and then fire breaking out over there. If you like that kind of a game and you're interested in that tense dice rolling game, I think a 4 is dead on.
Yeah, I think so too. Because the tile placement's random, the card draw is random, and it is press your luck with the dice, the game could be different every single time.
Yep.
We thought we had it all under control in the first couple of turns.
Yeah.
And it changed on a dime, and all of a sudden we were racing across the board trying to get it.
Yeah, struggling to
Yes.
keep up at times, yeah. And then finally, it was our changing category from the last show, popularity of genre.
So the reviewers gave it 2.5, and I think they based that more on the firefighter theme. And I think looking at it now with our revised criteria for that popularity of the genre, this is a family-friendly game.
Yep.
There's nobody dies in this game. Even if your tile gets burned out with you on it, just sends you back to the beginning to start again. Everybody survives this. This is all about saving and not destroying. So I think family-friendly would put this popularity genre much higher. I think families would get this game out on the table more often.
Yeah. The only thing, and this is one of my critiques from the game, with not so much in popularity genre, but family-friendly. One of the things as a more experienced gamer you're going to notice right away is that concept of let it burn. There are times when the fire is raging in separate sections, and you look at the placement that you had of the tiles in that particular draw of the game, and you say, if I let that tile burn, fire can't jump, and we can control a whole quadrant of the board. Picked that up pretty quick, and that's not really environmentally friendly. It's probably not what the designers wanted you to do. But as a tactic, it ended up playing into our favor when we picked one or two tiles to just let them go.
But I think that is part of the decision-making process.
Yep.
I mean, even with real firefighters, I mean, they do backburns. They will burn brush to prevent that fire from spreading. Now, here you're giving up an entire tile, which is probably far more than a backburn would be. But I think that is part of the strategy of, do you try and save everything, or do you focus on what you can save?
Yeah, the key tiles.
Right.
Which then there are a couple that have to stay in play
Right.
for the game to be successful. Okay, good. So our overall rating on this was a
16.5.
That's a good game.
Yeah, it's
That's
a good
real
game. I would probably put it a little bit higher. I actually loved it. I
Okay.
saw it being demoed at Gen Con. Could never get into any of the demos. They were full every single time. And it was probably one of the bigger talked about games at Gen Con. So the fact that I've got it now and I can play it when I want, I'm loving that.
It's good. Any things about the game that kind of bother you, or you're not quite up to par on?
Like I said, I think having to learn all the symbols that they use. For example, you have a lot of tokens that your firefighters can use, and you get these for rolling a certain number of successes. Until you know what all the symbols and icons mean, you're going to be looking at that rule book constantly.
Yeah, slows it down a little bit.
Yeah. So until you get a few games under your belt, it probably does take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So that would probably be the only drawback I have to it. Other than that, I like the components. They're cardboard standees. You don't have big plastic miniatures, but I don't think you need it for a game like this.
No. My only critique was, and it's really just subjective at best, the artwork to me tended to look a little Lego. I feel that it could have been a little dressier, a little sexier, but again, the price point probably would have been driven up.
Correct.
So instead of actual pictures of pieces of forest or stuff like that, they went with a more cartoony look. And again, at an age group of, I think, 10 and up, it probably makes sense because it's a family type game. It doesn't have to have that dramatic look. So for me, it was an art style thing, but really that's about it. The rest of it, the components are strong. They're decent.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's cooperative is the key. Every character. Oh, and let's talk about the character abilities, because this is also like Pandemic in a way, right?
Correct. Yeah. So each of the characters, there's four total characters. You have the crew boss, the Sawyer, the Swamper, and the Spotter.
I didn't know what the hell a Sawyer was. I really didn't. I'm thinking, like, is it a Rush song? I had no idea what a Sawyer was.
No. He's got
The Saw.
Yeah.
The Sawyer.
Yeah, exactly.
Not Saw.
It's kind of right in the name.
Yeah, there you go.
Each of them have abilities that you need to use in order to win at the game.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing their strengths and which tiles they should be at. A couple of times when we played, I ended up with my character in a tile that was impossible for him to get a success on. His ability to change die rolls, but only to certain die. So I could change, from shovel to rake and rake to shovel. But I was on a tile where I need a lot of hose. And
You needed a lot of hose?
I need a lot. Thank you.
NSFW. We always have at least 10 seconds of that for you in every show.
So yeah. Knowing what each of the characters can do and how to use them best on the board, I think that really plays up the replayability.
Yep.
Once you get strong with how all the characters work, it becomes a different game.
Cooperation again, though, okay.
Absolutely. If you don't work together, if everybody just runs around trying to put out fires, they're going to lose.
Yep. Okay, so our overall rating 16.5 by Hotshots. Again, I'm satisfied with that. You think it should be a little bit higher?
I think so, but I'm good with it.
Good. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us. I said okay again, and my director's giving me a dirty look. But I'm not going to say okay anymore. Like, I'm not going to say, okay, we're done. I'm just going to say we're done for the evening, and thanks for joining us.
Because we're not done yet.
Right. We didn't do what's new. Rich, what's new?
You're just so enamored with your own voice.
Yeah, I know. So what is new, Rich?
So, this is our third review. So this is November. So we got PAX Unplugged coming up in Philadelphia. That is November 16th, 17th, 18th, I believe.
Yep.
And I will be there. I will be there in the Rat Trap Productions booth, number 108, if you're interested. You can swing by. Tell me you like the show. Tell me you don't like the show. Tell me what you don't like about me. Tell me what you don't like about Bruno as much as you want.
Oh.
Or you can talk about my games, which I'm not going to talk about here. But yeah, PAX Unplugged coming up. Really looking forward to this. The first PAX dedicated solely to tabletop games
In Philadelphia.
in Philadelphia.
Yep, very cool. And in my house right now, the only thing we're able to talk about, because the director is still in my house living there, is the fact that Assassin's Creed Origins is about to break on October 27th, as I look past the camera. And it's basically something we've been hearing about for 6 months. The director's into Egyptology anyway, so we heard that this game was based in Egypt, and yeah, there's a dance going on behind the camera. So yeah, it's a big deal in my house.
But let's talk about what's going to go on with Assassin's Creed. What's going to happen on that day?
Oh, the director's not making it to school.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
I've been told she's not. Yeah,
She's not feeling well that day.
No, it's a call out. It's a bone. It's a bang out day.
Okay.
Well, thanks for joining us. First show went real easy, but no, this is a great game, and if you had a chance to go out to your retailer, pick it up. It's definitely worth the $35.
Absolutely.
So, see you next time on What's It Really Worth. Good night.
All right, so the final scores for Hotshot by Fireside Games. MSRP 4.25. Setup 3.0. Learning curve 3.0. Replayability 4.0. Popularity of the genre 3.5. Gives us an overall score of 16.5.